Ruben Amorim left speechless after shocking Manchester United meeting. Welcome to Unite United News, your trusted source for all things Manchester United. We bring you the latest updates, honest analysis, and inside stories about our beloved club. Today, we have some breaking news that has sent shockwaves through Old Trafford and the wider football community. What happened behind closed doors this week could shape the future of our season and possibly our manager's time at the club. The meeting that changed everything. Picture this. You are the manager of one of the biggest football clubs in the world. You have your plans, your vision, and your way of playing. Then suddenly, you get called into an urgent meeting with club officials. What they tell you leaves you completely speechless. This is exactly what happened to Ruben Amorim this week at Manchester United. According to reports from Indicala News and sources close to the club, Amorim attended an emergency meeting with United officials. But this was not just any ordinary meeting. The officials made a request that nobody saw coming. They asked him to change the team's formation from his preferred system to a 4-3-3 setup. Now, you might be wondering, why is this such a big deal? Why would a simple formation change leave an experienced manager like Amorim speechless? Let me explain why this meeting has become the talk of football. Understanding the shock factor. When a manager joins a new club, they usually come with their own philosophy and tactical approach. Amorim has built his reputation on a specific way of playing football. His tactical system has brought him success in the past. It is part of his identity as a manager. For club officials to suddenly ask him to abandon that system is not a small request. It is basically asking him to change his entire approach to the game. Think about it from Amorim's perspective. He was brought to Manchester United because of his track record and his methods. The club knew what they were getting when they hired him. So when officials now come to him and ask for such a fundamental change, it raises serious questions. Does the club still believe in his vision? Do they trust his methods? Or are they panicking because of recent poor results? The fact that Amorim was left speechless tells us everything we need to know about how unexpected this request was. This is a man who has faced pressure before. He has managed big games and dealt with difficult situations. But this meeting clearly caught him off guard. What is behind this decision? Manchester United has been going through a rough patch lately. The results have not been good enough. Fans are frustrated. The media is asking tough questions. Everyone at the club is feeling the pressure. When things are not going well, people start looking for quick solutions. Sometimes those solutions make sense. Other times, they look like panic moves. Asking Amorim to switch to a 4-3-3 formation could be either of these things. On one hand, maybe the officials believe the system would better suit the players currently at the club. Perhaps they think it would bring more balance to the team. A 4-3-3 formation is tried and tested at the highest level. Many successful teams use it. On the other hand, this request could signal something more worrying. It might show that the club is losing faith in their manager. When officials start telling a manager how to set up his team, it usually means they are not happy with his decisions. It suggests they think they know better than the man they hired to do this job. The timing of this meeting is also important. Why now? What has happened recently to trigger such an urgent discussion? These are questions that every United fan is asking right now. The trust issue at Old Trafford. Trust is everything in football. Players need to trust their manager. The manager needs to trust his players. And the club needs to trust the manager they appointed. When that trust breaks down, everything falls apart. Right now, it seems like there might be a trust problem at Manchester United. Sources close to the club are saying that certain officials are questioning Amorim's future. Even more concerning is the suggestion that some people at the club believe it is not a question of if he will be sacked, but when. This is serious stuff. We are not talking about normal pressure that every manager faces. We are talking about people inside the club already writing off the manager. If these reports are true, then Amorim is working in an environment where some of the people above him have already decided he will fail. How can any manager succeed in such conditions? How can he make brave decisions and stick to his principles when he knows that powerful people at the club are waiting for him to fail? This situation creates a toxic atmosphere that helps nobody. What does this mean for the team? The players are not stupid. They can sense when there is trouble behind the scenes. They know when their manager is under serious pressure. They can feel when the club is divided. All of this affects what happens on the pitch. If Amorim does switch to a 4-3-3 formation, the players will know it was not really his choice. They will know he was pressured into it. This could undermine his authority in the dressing room. Players might start wondering if they should really be following his instructions. After all, if the club officials do not fully back him, why should they? Football is as much about confidence and belief as it is about tactics and skill. When doubt creeps into a team, performances suffer. We might already be seeing this with United's recent struggles. If the situation gets worse, the results could become even more disappointing. A formation change itself is not necessarily bad. Many managers adjust their tactics based on the players they have available. But the way this change is being forced on Amorim is troubling. It sends the wrong message to everyone involved with the club. The bigger picture at Manchester United. This story is not just about one meeting or one formation change. It is about how Manchester United operates as a football club. Over the past few years, we have seen confusion and inconsistency at Old Trafford. Managers come and go. Transfer strategies change. There seems to be no clear long-term plan. When a club hires a manager, they should give him time and support to implement his vision. Yes, results matter. But constantly interfering and second-guessing the manager creates instability. It makes it impossible for anyone to succeed. Look at the most successful clubs in world football. They back their managers. They give them the resources and the time they need. They do not panic after a few bad results. Manchester United used to operate this way under Sir Alex Ferguson. The club stood by him even when things were difficult early in his career. That patience was rewarded with decades of success. Now, it feels like United has lost that patience. The club wants instant results. Officials want quick fixes. But football does not work like that. Building a successful team takes time. It requires a clear vision and the courage to stick with it even when things get tough. What are the alternatives? Let's be realistic about the situation. If Manchester United decides to sack Amorim, what happens next? Who do they bring in? And will that person face the same problems? Changing managers constantly does not fix underlying issues. It just creates more chaos. United needs stability. The club needs a clear direction. Sacking another manager might feel like taking action, but it could just be repeating the same mistakes that have been made for years. Maybe the problem is not the manager. Maybe the problem is deeper. Perhaps it is about how the club is run. Maybe it is about the players who are not performing. Or maybe it is about the pressure and expectations that make it almost impossible for anyone to succeed at Old Trafford right now. These are difficult questions that the people running Manchester United need to ask themselves. Blaming the manager is easy. Looking at the bigger picture and admitting there might be fundamental problems with how the club operates is much harder. The formation debate. Let's talk about the tactical side of this story. Is a 4-3-3 formation really the answer to United's problems? Or is this just a distraction from deeper issues? A 4-3-3 system can be very effective. It provides good balance between defense and attack. It allows wide players to stretch the opposition. It gives the team options in midfield. Many of the best teams in Europe use some version of this formation. However, formations alone do not win football matches. What matters more is how players understand their roles, how they work together as a unit, and whether they have the quality to execute the game plan. You can play 4-3-3 or any other formation, but if the basics are not right, you will still struggle. Amorim likely has good reasons for using his preferred system. He knows his players. He has analyzed their strengths and weaknesses. His tactical setup is designed to get the best out of the squad he has. Forcing him to change might actually make things worse, not better. This is why the request from club officials seems so strange. Unless they have some special insight that Amorim lacks, why would they think they know better than the professional manager they hired? The pressure cooker environment. Being the Manchester United manager is one of the toughest jobs in football. The expectations are sky high. The media attention is intense. Every decision gets analyzed and criticized. One bad result can trigger a crisis. This pressure is something every United manager has to deal with. But what Amorim is facing now goes beyond normal pressure. He is dealing with public questioning from within his own club. Reports are suggesting that powerful people at United have already lost faith in him. This makes his job almost impossible. How can he focus on improving the team when he is constantly worried about his future? How can he make bold tactical decisions when he knows any mistake could be his last? How can he command respect from his players when everyone knows the club might sack him soon? These are not conditions that help anyone succeed. They create fear and hesitation instead of confidence and creativity. If Manchester United really wants to turn things around, they need to create a better environment for their manager to work in. What fans should make of this? As United fans, what should we think about all this drama? It is easy to feel frustrated and confused. One day we are told to back the manager. The next day we hear reports that the club is already planning to replace him. The most important thing is to remember that we do not know everything that is happening behind the scenes. These reports give us a glimpse into the situation, but they do not tell the whole story. We should be careful about jumping to conclusions based on limited information. That said, these reports are concerning. They suggest a club that is divided and lacking clear direction. They paint a picture of officials who are panicking rather than staying calm and working through problems. What United needs right now is unity. The fans need to support the team. The club needs to back the manager. And everyone needs to work together toward the same goals. Creating more division and uncertainty helps nobody. Looking forward. So where does Manchester United go from here? Will Amorim switch to a 4-3-3 formation? Will he be given time to turn things around? Or will the club make another managerial change? Nobody knows for sure what will happen next. But one thing is clear. Manchester United is at a crossroads. The decisions made in the coming weeks could shape the club's future for years to come. If the club decides to stick with Amorim, they need to back him properly. That means supporting his decisions, giving him time, and not undermining him with public interference. If they have lost faith in him, then they should make a clean break and bring in someone new with a clear plan. What the club cannot afford to do is continue with this half-measure approach. They cannot keep Amorim in the job while publicly questioning him. They cannot ask him to change his entire philosophy while expecting him to succeed. These mixed messages help nobody. The coming days and weeks will be crucial for everyone involved with Manchester United. Fans will be watching closely. The media will be asking questions. And most importantly, the team will be trying to find answers on the pitch. Final thoughts. This story about Ruben Amorim being left speechless at a club meeting is about more than just one manager or one formation change. It is about how Manchester United operates as a football club. It is about the pressure, the expectations, and the constant scrutiny that comes with being involved with one of the biggest teams in the world. Whether you think Amorim is the right man for the job or not, most people would agree that this situation has been handled poorly. Managers deserve clarity and support. They need to know that their club believes in them, especially during difficult times. Whatever happens next, one thing is certain. Manchester United needs to find stability and direction. The club has been through too many managers and too many false starts in recent years. At some point, the people running the club need to figure out a better way forward. Thank you for staying with us here at Unite United News. We will continue to bring you the latest updates on this developing story and everything else happening at Manchester United. These are challenging times for our club, but we remain hopeful that better days are ahead. Keep supporting the team, keep believing, and we will get through this together. This is your home for honest, trustworthy Manchester United news. Until next time, keep the red flag flying high.